Smash Ultimate was a love letter to the Smash community, a return of every single character along with exactly what the community wanted, a announced developer focus on character balance and gameplay speed. So with all that in mind, it begs the question, why is Smash Ultimate so despised now? The thing is that this isn't exactly something that is new. Smash has been notorious for its hype cycles on each game release, where fans are fanatic before the game comes out with all the trailers and all that. Then they love the games for a few years, and eventually they fall out of love, and cracks appear the seams. And in Ultimate's case, well, there are a lot of cracks to talk about. The years have changed, and with that, the meta has changed, to say the least. With all these games that go through the cycle of aggression initially being really broken on release. I mean, you remember MKLeo going out there mashing there with Ike, and yeah, that was good. It was so fun to watch and also really fun to play. As time goes on though with all these games, and as people get used to the mechanics of them, platform fighters usually turn a bit slower, a bit more campy, and a bit more methodical. There's a lot of space to be used in these games with all the platforms, and people start using it. And as a viewer, well, I think in a lot of cases that gets kind of boring. I mean, you've seen Sonic time people out, you've seen Samus charging charge shot in the corner under a platform. You know there's just a large variety of slow, safe, almost risk-free strategies that are growing in popularity over time. And to be honest, why wouldn't you use one of these strategies if you were a competitive player or even a casual player that just wants to win? Because people like winning, and reactive play is a really great way to get consistent wins. But as we all know, winning isn't the only thing that matters in a game. What also matters is how fun people are to play against. And yeah, as time went on, this game went from a wild ball-to-the-walls brawl to a very slow-paced fencing match. And I think a lot of people have felt that the magic is kind of lost in that. The more methodical style of gameplay the Smash games usually evolve towards is so rough because it just doesn't really mimic the fantasy of the game. Smash in concept is about getting in there, taking stocks, and standing at the top of the hill after a nice, fair battle. And you can see this by basically watching any casual people or any young people ever playing the game for fun. When you're doing that, you run in, you try to do cool combos, you try to kill as many people as possible, and usually you don't see that many people sitting back doing nothing for minutes and minutes on end, avoiding the enemy as much as they can, unless they're specifically trying to either troll their friends, in which case they're going to get socially bullied to stop, or they just want to win so bad, but again, they're only going to do that for one game or two, and then go back to playing the game normally. And while yes, you can just deal with it, and you can just deal with watching the slow, methodical gameplay, and while that is something that you should do to win, most players play Smash mainly just for fun, not to improve or to get better or anything like that, but you could see how that could be kind of frustrating to a lot of people, a lot of fans, and even just a lot of players. If you want an obvious example of how Smash Ultimate has changed, I think the most easy way to see that is just the changing of the guard of the top tiers in this game. From early on, we had such an amazing meta of mainly semi-aggressive, pretty interesting characters that definitely ruled it. We had characters like Pichu, Joker, Pokemon Trainer, Wolf, Lucina, Wario, Mario, and Peach, just to name a few, and while they didn't necessarily always go in, they also definitely didn't camp, and for the most part they scrapped it out whenever they possibly could. And as well, we had characters like Roy, which were just, running down people at all times, just trying to kill whoever they could. And while these characters are still definitely playable today and still pretty darn good today, you definitely know the characters that are popular right now, and yeah, they aren't nearly as fun to watch or as fun to play versus as the old guard. And I think it's kind of unfortunate because, yeah, if we would have just continued with the old meta of Smash Ultimate, I think the game might have ended up in a slightly better place. But it is just kind of what it is, unfortunately. I'll give Sakurai's team their props. Smash Ultimate is a much more balanced game compared to all the previous entries. You could pick up most characters and do well enough, which honestly is a feat on its own with so many characters in the game. So that's all well and good, but we can't ignore the Steve in the room, or like half the fighters in Fighter Pass 2. And What happened over COVID? Like, why did the balancing for this game just give up? Why didn't they meaningfully nerf anyone past Min Min or do anything after Sora was added? Like, bye-bye, I guess. This is such a weird choice by Nintendo. Drop a ton of characters and then just leave them alone in their, in my opinion, pretty obviously rushed/unbalanced COVID state. Like, I definitely understand. It was COVID. It makes sense. You couldn't get everyone out perfectly. But they could have released a patch at literally any point, even to this day, but they haven't. And I really have no idea why, other than the fact that the higher ups are like, yeah, there's no more content for this game, so there's no changes for the game. See ya. And for a game in 2024 that is just kind of jarring. Moving on, I think in a lot of cases, Smash Ultimate can be fun, but a key hidden source of burning hatred that I've seen seeping into the culture of Smash Ultimate for basically everyone is the fact that Smash Ultimate Online is horrible, and having to deal with it for years and years and years is so draining and has made so many players go crazy. Multiply that by the fact that, of course, these defensive, projectile, or hitbox bashy characters get far stronger online, so you're probably going to play against them a lot more often. Yeah, that is just kind of rough. For a lot of people, they want to play the character they want to play, and online doesn't really let them do that. If they want a fast, aggressive, precise character, well, good luck. That's really all I can say. And I think this added together creates a horrible experience for most players who log on today, unless you're playing one of those more forgiving online characters. Now, luckily for us, Smash Ultimate Online is only the main way that 99% of players play this game. So that's kind of rough. And I think the hardest part about it is that if you do want to win, even if you want to win just mainly in person, you probably still do need to practice online, since you really can't grind as much just in person compared to people that are grinding online all the time. So this leads to a lot of people putting themselves through the suffering of Smash Ultimate Online, and I think over the years and years, the hatred definitely does boil hot from this. When I personally play online, a lot of the times I do kind of want to have some fun, and to be honest, a weird kind of Smash Ultimate specific problem for online, but also in person, I guess, is the fact that there are quite a few characters that, while they may not necessarily be camping all the time, they're also kind of forcing you to camp, which feels very weird because if you interact with these characters, you just die. I mean, we got Luigi, we got Kazuya, we even kind of, in a weird case, have Bayonetta or Game & Watch. There's these characters where if you press a button and if you try to go in, you could take 100% or even your entire stock. And what's the solution for that? Well, it's to wait there. It's to do nothing. You have to let them move first and then punish them. Because again, if you do go in and you do get hit, you die. And really, no one wants to play like that. No one really wants to watch that. These issues could be kind of fixed by reworking the characters, by maybe taking some strengths from them from one aspect and then moving it to somewhere else instead. But it seems like that isn't really what Nintendo wants to do anymore, and it leaves just quite a few characters that feels like you can't really interact with them and just very frustrating to play against. Connected to the idea I just talked about, you've probably heard a lot of people complaining about characters like Luigi, like Kazuya. And I think as time goes on, a lot of just expressions or ideas become a lot more socially acceptable for each Smash game. And oftentimes it's for good reasons, such as crouch canceling in Melee, which is quite annoying, rage kills in Smash 4, or just tripping in Brawl. But the main thing is that these players don't necessarily hate their entire game. I think they're just trying to put the frustration that they've had over the years of playing the game into something that they can, attack as a punching bag vocally. And while they might not hate every single thing about the game, there are certain things that they can complain about to get that frustration out while not necessarily hurting anyone's feelings in particular. Some people get pent-up emotions over games, especially over years where it feels like they should be finally beating their friends or finally winning tournaments now, but they're just not. So, gut-punching Sonic Spin Dash or complaining about Game & Watch having a fast, invincible frame-through out of shield option that also combos while no one else does, or, complaining about two-framing or spot dodge canceling or anything like that can definitely help you blow off some steam without being rude or offending most players. In fact, in most situations, I think it actually kind of builds camaraderie with other players, as most players also dislike the same things or relate to using the same excuses. This is a thing that happens with most older games as the meta solidifies, and yeah, this game is older. And next year, it'll actually be the oldest any Smash game has ever been since the last one. And with a new console coming out, maybe kind of soonish, I think what that's led to is a lot of us kind of giving up on this game a little bit, and just mainly thinking, eventually a deluxe version is going to come out or a new game's going to come out, and that'll fix all the issues. They're expecting a new one, they're waiting for a new one, so why bother trying to ground out a game that's going to die anyways, that has so many problems anyways? May as well just hate on it and have the hopium that the next game is going to be perfect, even though it definitely won't be. I've seen this with Brawl, with Smash 4, and now with Ultimate, and let's be real, in a few years, I think most of us probably will miss Smash Ultimate, like I personally do with Smash 4 now, because it will probably be replaced. I don't think Smash Ultimate is really a good enough of a masterpiece like Melee to outlast a sequel. As long as Smash 6 comes out and is pretty good, it's probably going to replace what we have for Ultimate's player base now, and people will just move on to the new game and the cycle will repeat. That game instead will eventually become hated, and Ultimate, well, I think a lot of us will start to love it again. I think the fact that we won't necessarily have to play against a lot of these broken characters or these strategies, and because we're just playing the game a lot more casually, that's going to bring us back to it. I think we're going to love a lot of the memories it gave and the fun time at friends' houses that we had, the hard-won tournament victories we pulled out, and the crushing money matches that we lost. Smash Ultimate will be hated for now, and probably even for a few years, and with a lot of pretty good reasons. But I am excited for the time where nostalgia takes over once again, and Ultimate becomes the GOAT that many of us once thought it was. Speaking of becoming the GOAT, I honestly think a lot of Smash players have practiced a ton, tried to improve, and gotten really freaking good at Smash Ultimate, which, in all honesty, can cause some problems on its own. And here I have a video talking about just that, if we simply gotten too good at gaming, and what we can do about it. So I hope you can enjoy that video if it sounds interesting to you, and I hope you have a wonderful day.